Hi, this is Jasmine, my channel, Sober and Fabulous. Just want to say hello to everyone. I have not made a video in quite some time. I feel like I do this every couple months. I'll make a handful of videos. Hi, Bebe. It's my cat meowing. And then I needed a little break. And I think that is a beautiful part of self-mindfulness on my part. It's also part of my journey and what I'm doing. I feel like when I have thoughts to share, that's when I make these videos. And I've got a lot of very good thoughts going on right now. I just finished a therapy session. I see my therapist bi-weekly now, every other week. And I feel very great about what I'm doing in therapy. I feel that for the first time in my life, I am really taking the Serenity Prayer to heart. I was telling her yesterday, I was thinking about the Serenity Prayer and just kind of digging into it. You know, it's such a simple and beautiful prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That is quite difficult, and I have struggled with it, things that I cannot change. And then the courage to change the things that I can. And it's scary sometimes to change things. As much as I want to be able to change other people and things that I actually cannot change, like my past, or something that's just not, I don't have control over changing. Those don't seem to scare me as much as the things that I can change. So obviously getting sober was a big change in my life, a big lifestyle change. And so much of it was a part of, the act of getting sober. I wanted to do that, but I also was so concerned about my mental health. And I have put in a lot of work and a lot of time into myself, which I had not done for a long time. And that's okay. I don't look at the past as like, what took you so long to get here, or thanks for finally showing up. I'm here in the present. I'm here right now, and I'm loving myself. So what can I change? What do I need courage to change? So obviously lifestyle changes are something that I can change. And like I said, getting sober, deciding to stay sober, huge lifestyle change, and a change that I work on every single day of my life. I don't desire alcohol or drugs anymore, and I actually desired drugs more than I did alcohol. The thought of drinking just kind of went away somewhere in aftercare. And occasionally there's still a thought. It was such a, part of my life. And it is a part of our society. Like, you celebrate, you have a glass of champagne. I recently saw, it was on Instagram, I think. It was a blurb of Drew Barrymore talking about her getting sober. And she didn't do rehab, she didn't do a program. But she said, and this spoke to me so much, she said that she couldn't be the cool girl at the party with a glass of wine. She had to have 3 bottles. And that was so me. I was never like a glass of champagne. No, I'm having 3 bottles of champagne, if not a whole case. So that desire is gone. I'm just so happy without alcohol. The desire to do drugs, though, and I think because certain drugs, especially the ones that were, uppers that sped me up, they really gave me a release of dopamine. I would feel really good about myself, about life in general, and I was high as a kite. And so that, I think, is what I was afraid I was missing that when I first got sober from drugs. And I don't miss it. I don't, I glamorize what it was like to be high when I was sober. And it wasn't always like a rush of dopamine and feeling fantastic about myself. There was a lot of paranoia. There was sickness in using, that actual, part of using. And then there was the sickness afterwards. the sadness that would overwhelm me, just a sense of dependency on something to make me get up and, go to work or just function. I mean, that's just, it's sad, it's frightening. And I speak about myself. I'm not speaking about anyone else when I say that. That's how I was. So playing the tape through obviously works in that regard. And then I started, I stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs. And I've noticed that my eating was super unhealthy. And, a family size bag of peanut M&Ms was an ideal snack for me. And I finally had 2 blood tests that came back that told me that my blood sugar was high. And my doctor was like, you're pre-diabetic. We want to put you on medication. And I was like, whoa, this is scary. I do not want type 2 diabetes. Even though I knew that was a possibility, it was like, it can't happen to me. Just like, a drug overdose. Like, I can't die from taking drugs. It's so silly how, like, the mind can convince you, oh, it's okay. You can eat all that. You're fine. So 12 days ago, totally changed my diet. I was eating hardly any vegetables. I counted sweet potatoes, acorn squash, butternut squash, all as a vegetable. And in some regards they are, but they're super starchy. They're super heavy. And my portion controls were out of control. I would eat past being hungry. I would eat and then feel incredibly uncomfortable. So like, this wasn't even like a fun experience, which is also, I can equate that to drinking and doing drugs. Some parts of it were fun, and I guess you could say that about the eating too, like the taste, that tasting, smelling, but then the aftermath, that after feeling, and it's just, I was so frustrated. So I now make all my meals. I have a green vegetable every day for dinner. Tonight I roasted broccoli with orange bell pepper, and I had chicken breasts that I make in my air fryer, olive oil, paprika, salt and pepper, pretty simple, a little balsamic glaze afterwards. And I know there's sugar in that, but I'm just, limiting the amount of sugar that's going into me. My coffee, I've lowered my coffee consumption dramatically. I'm only having 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and I'm doing like a teaspoon of sugar in there, which is huge because I used to put 3 heaping teaspoons of sugar into my coffee, and I can't even, it's just, I'm like, wow, that was so much sugar. So I'm not drinking sugary drinks, not doing sodas. I drink hot tea. I don't need to sweeten my tea. I grew out of that a while ago. I don't mind it. I, of course, love sweet tea, but I can drink hot tea without sugar. And I've been packing my lunch, but I'm doing healthier snacks. I'm doing nuts, almonds, and I've gotten honey roasted peanuts because I absolutely love them. And I do believe they are better than peanut butter M&Ms. But I'm doing tuna salad or chicken salad. I'm making it myself instead of processed deli meats, which taste fantastic but are horrible for you. I'm also paying attention to sugar on the label now, something that I had never looked at before. And holy crap, is there an obnoxious amount of sugar in so much food. A small breakfast bar, like a Nutri-Grain bar, has 22 grams of sugar. It is obnoxious. So I'm definitely paying attention. And I've also, like, this is not a diet that I'm on. This is a lifestyle change. I feel completely different. So it's very interesting. I talked to my therapist about this tonight. My ex used to say to me, your gut and your mental health are related. And by you putting all that bad food in you, it's not helping your mental health. And so I had this aha moment in the past 12 days when I've been eating healthy and I've been feeling much better. Granted, I've also gotten sober in the past 2 years and I'm doing doing therapy, doing self-work, all that stuff. So there's a lot going on, but I've noticed even just within this past, week and a half of eating healthy, this boost in like my serotonin, my dopamine, and I was like, holy crap, he was right. And what I told my therapist, what would stop me from understanding what he was saying, was that I was totally misinterpreting what he was saying. I was like, I looked at it like he was saying that my gut was the, the reason that my mental health was failing, that my traumas didn't happen to me and I shouldn't be upset because of my trauma. And trauma is trauma. It is what it is, and it's happened. I cannot change the past. Ding, Serenity Bell. So I'm learning to accept the past, and why sit in it? Why be sad in it? And when I put healthier things into my body, I don't want to sit in sadness. I don't want to sit here and think like about my traumatic experiences. I don't at all. And it's not just things that happen in my childhood. There are traumatic events that can happen all throughout life. There are major traumatic events that we share. 9/11 was one of them for my generation. And so by changing my diet, though, I'm now seeing, I'm like, I get it. And I feel like I've seen more articles where psychologists and GI doctors are talking about the correlation of our mental health and our GI tract and what goes into us. And I think about the nutrients that are going into my body. And on a cellular level, what am I providing for my body? How am I providing for my body? These are all things that I can change, that I have control over. And that is something that I crave. I want to have control over things. I want to be able to change things and manipulate things. Well, how about change you? So that's what I'm doing. I'm working on me. I have been working on me since before I started this channel. And it just feels really good, though. I want to share how I'm feeling. I can see myself right now, and I know that I'm overweight, and I love my body. I have worked really hard to get to this point where I can look at myself and say, I love my body, I love you, but I also want to get in better shape. So I've been going to the gym, I'm eating healthy, and it's little changes like that, little steps that make a big difference. And I'm excited to be on this journey and to share it with anyone that's willing to listen, even if it's just one person. I feel like that's all that really matters, sharing my journey, sharing my struggles at times, sharing my happiness, sharing my my gut, eating green vegetables. And I love the taste of healthy food. It's never been like, oh, healthy foods are, they don't taste good. Like, if you don't know how to cook, then your food's not going to taste good. You can make really unhealthy food not taste good. You can make healthy food taste good. There's so much flavor in roasting vegetables. There's so much flavor in using limited spices. Like I said, on my chicken, it was salt, pepper, paprika, and I've learned less is more in the spice department. Marinades, and making them yourself. Stop buying store-bought. That's what I say to myself. Not anymore. Not when I look at those sugar grams and just, what a tablespoon of sugar. It's just outrageous. And the same with sodium. I was talking to my therapist about, she said that she makes her own taco seasoning, and it made such a difference to her and her family that they weren't so thirsty. Just that initial need, how salt is a diuretic. It's going to make you get rid of water, and you're going to want more water in you. So, just little things like that, I think, make a huge difference. And I'm just feeling happier. And it could be the time of year too. I work in the school system, so the school is almost over, and that's exciting for everybody. Even though I'm going to work summer school, it's a totally different schedule, and just having your summer off, I feel like a kid again. Like, it's going to be some more vacation. And it's spring. There's a renewal of life with spring. The leaves are green, the air is warm, the sun is shining more. All these things I know have boosted my serotonin and my good feelings and feeling good about me. But I can also easily flip that script. I was talking about that in therapy. I could turn this into a cynical rant about poor me, why me, F everybody, life sucks. I could do that. No problem. I really could, but I don't see the point in that. I'd rather be happy with where I am. And I really am trying to focus on living in the present. The past is the past. You cannot change it. It's not going anywhere. No need to dwell in it. The future has not happened. I don't know what's going to happen. And I can imagine what's going to happen all day long, but then I lose out on this present moment that I'm in. And I can sit and ask why the past happened. I can say, why did this happen to me? But that doesn't change anything. Worrying doesn't change anything. I was talking to my therapist about that too. Like, what is the point of worrying? Like, why do we worry? It does nothing. Worrying does absolutely nothing to any situation. And I was like, action is what changes the situation. Non-action is what doesn't change the situation. So why spend all this time? And I'm talking to myself. Why spend this time worrying? Like, was I not pretty enough? Was I, did he leave me because I was fat? Or did he ever love me? Did I deserve what happened to me when I was little? All this stuff that just sits in my head sometimes. And I can make the choice every single day to not dwell on that, to meditate, to empty my mind, to spread joy, to be kind to people, to encourage people to learn. I mean, that's one thing that I absolutely love about my job and working with kids, is that I'm there helping them learn. And it's up to them if they want to or not. I can't force them. Some of them really want to, and that's exciting. I was one of those kids. I loved learning. I still love learning. There's so much we can continue to learn all throughout our lives. And that to me is one of the beauties of life, that we're always learning, we're always finding out new things. And I was really intrigued by the neuroscience, if you will, the neurological studies that have been done on people in rehab and changing my neurological pathways to make healthy habits. I've done that. I know I can do it. And it's a very rewarding feeling. And it takes effort. But it's also something I can change. Again, ding, Serenity Bell. Courage to change the things I can. It's such a beautiful, and then the wisdom to know the difference. I mean, whoever read that, job well done. And that prayer always comes to me when I need it, when I'm just overthinking about something or worrying about something. Like I said, what's the point of worrying? But it's like, it'll just come on. As much as I don't want to be like a worrier, or I don't want to be cynical, all these things, and I'm like, yay, let's be positive. They happen to me. Something can trigger me. I was telling, my therapist, sometimes it's seeing a good interaction, like a father and child interaction, that will trigger me to make me feel so upset and so sad because I didn't have that. And I'm sitting in that moment, and I'm like, I don't want to feel crappy. Like, this is a beautiful moment. Like, I want to enjoy that. But it's like, what the heck? Why do some parents just, I don't know, it's not even not do it right. It's like, just say you're sorry and want to just be there always for your kids. But I'm not a parent. I can't speak from personal, I don't know how I would be as a parent. And that also pops into my mind, and, not judging people, but some people are just bad. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. And that's also an acceptance. And it's not, I don't even want to say like it's easy or hard acceptance. It's just an acceptance. Like, some people are just bad, and they choose that. That's their choice. Because I do believe that human beings, we are capable of absolute beauty, and we are capable of absolute evil and destruction, and it's our choice. And people make mistakes. Do you learn from that mistake? Do you make a change, something that you can change? You have control over changing. Do you make that change? And that's what I'm asking myself now. Like, what can I change to better myself? And people around me. And there's not a lot of people around me right now. Probably some people would say I have a really crappy friend right now. I have 0 friends. My roommate is my only friend. And I have my family. And I'm okay with that because right now, like, there's a few people that I text, but I need to work on me. I've never taken the time to just work on me. And it is not like go to rehab for 2 months. Oh, I'm good. Go to aftercare for 2 months more, so 4 months. Oh, I'm good. No. Not at all. This is going to take years, and I'm okay with that. I've made changes in my life that I would talk about doing years ago, but I didn't follow through with it. And I was on that hamster wheel of drinking every day and using every day, if not every day, close to it. And I would have these great ideas, but I wasn't changing anything in my life to allow me to get there. You know, now that I'm sober, I changed my career. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, and I love my job. Do I love getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning? It's so funny. It's just that initial getting up that I don't like. Like, once I'm up, I'm totally fine. But laying in bed, I don't know what it is about me. It's something, it's a neurological pathway that I'm working on, and it has been a struggle, but I'm doing it. I'm working on it. Because once I'm up, it's fantastic. I'm like, it's a beautiful day. And all throughout the day, I have energy. I go to work, have a great schedule, finish school at 2:45, have all that, you know, my whole evening to myself. I'm able to, you know, spend time with my family, spend time with my cat and my roommate because he lives here. But I'm able to work on myself, which is just, it's truly an incredible feeling. I don't feel like I'm being selfish at all. I feel like I'm actually working on myself. I'm putting myself first. And that, again, is something that I can change. Courage to change me. It's not always easy. I'm going back to school in the fall, and I'm scared shitless. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna do school full time, and I'm gonna work full time, and it's totally doable. My schedule will allow it. I'm scared, but in a healthy way, because it's new, it's different. I know I'm very capable of it. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. It's finished my undergrad, so I'm doing that. And it'll help me in the long run with my job. I'll be able to get a raise. I have ideas about what I want to do in the long run, like what I want my career to be. And yeah, I'm 44 and I'm still figuring out what I want my career to be, and that's quite all right. It's not a race. It's my journey. It's my dance. I heard that Garth Brooks song today, and I was like, that song has always gotten to me. You know, don't miss the dance. Don't miss these moments that make up our days, and they're beautiful. You know, I was telling my therapist, I was sitting in the waiting room. I had a doctor's appointment in the middle of the day, and I had to leave school, and it kind of cut into my lunch because I was waiting in a doctor's office with a bunch of other people, and they were complaining. And there was this big picture window, and you could see outside. It's beautiful green spring day, and I looked outside, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this beautiful day, and you know, they'll call my name when they call my name. I'm not gonna lose it over this. No, something else crazy could happen. And I'm not afraid of the unknown because it's unknown. Like, again, why worry? I am just working on me, being in the present and being mindful, loving myself, paying attention to my inner dialogue, how I talk to myself, and encouraging myself, loving myself, and knowing that I'm doing the right thing. I'm just here to share what's going on with me, with you, if you want to listen. So I'm going to sign off. And, you know, if you feel like you need help with drugs or alcohol, please go to an AA meeting or an NA meeting. They will help you. If you need to get into rehab, if you need just to be in a meeting, some of the most amazing, down-to-earth, beautiful people you will ever meet in your life. They've been there. They know. Without even having to go into detail, they know. And if you need mental health, if you need to talk to a therapist, I so recommend that you do it. I found my therapist by going online, psychologytoday.com. Psychology Today is a psychologist journal or magazine. Put in your zip code. You can have a therapist. You have a therapy appointment this week, next week. It's healthy to talk to people. I had a student ask me today, how do I get to talk to a therapist? I'm like, we can make it happen. It just warmed my heart that they asked, where I feel like we are entering, and we have, the dialogue for mental health has changed. And I said to him, I was like, I talk to a therapist twice a week, or sometimes it has been twice a week sometimes. But I always tell kids or adults, anyone that asks me about therapy, I'm very open about being in therapy. I think it's a wonderful thing. And it's therapists see therapists. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no stigma. Who cares if there's a stigma? It's about you, what you can change. Have a great day. Bye.